Hello, everybody, and welcome to Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay, well, maybe not welcome y'all to Las Vegas, but that's where we're at. We are actually at one of my favorite places down here, a Mexican restaurant down on the strip. So, welcome back to the Trade Talks Live. We literally had to be up and early and out of Dallas early to get here in time to do this and still do everything else we've got to do today. So, we wanted to jump in here and say hello. If you've been here before, you know this is a little bit different. Yep. We both have a little bit of greenery behind us and stuff like that. And if this is your first time here, welcome to the show. Glad that you made it. We go live every day at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, talking about amazing things throughout all the trades. And to me, where this is beneficial to everybody is the fact that, we talk all the time about if you want to be the top of your industry, the number one person in your niche, get up every day and study. There's new tools, material, technique, and equipment every day. And we kind of bring that to you. Squirt, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great this morning. Happy hump day, everybody. I am Henry Wakefield, aka Randy and Squirt. You're going to hear them all and then some more throughout the show, I'm sure. Happy to be here in Vegas. Got up at, butt crack of dawn, just like most tradespeople, and flew halfway across the country instead of heading straight into work. So it's a little different today. Uh, but I am Henry Wakefield. I'm a 20-year pipe fitter by trade. Uh, get on here and just love talking trades every day. We do want to thank Leak Pro, that's the company I run now, for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks, letting us come in here, hang out, and talk trades for an hour. Leak Pro is the manufacturer of the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. We build a couple different pieces of equipment, one for your outdoor leaks, one for the indoor slab leaks whenever you're listening through that slab. If you want to check out our equipment, you can visit www.leak-pro.com. Or if you don't know anything about leak detection, I do a 2-day in-person training. I'm going to teach you how to locate the lines, pinpoint locate leaks under a slab, outside of the slab, but also how to locate leaks on a sewer system using doing it all from the double clean out outside of a home, using some test balls and cameras. So teach you some of those techniques also during training. If you want to check that out or talk to me about it, give me a call at 1-8888 Leak Pro. Or once again, you can check out the website at leak-pro.com.
It's neat to be in Vegas. Number one, we know Matt McDonald's down here. Good to see you in here, brother. Says welcome to Vegas. Flight was great. In and out quick. Yes, we are on the strip. Good thing to do. Welcome to Vegas. And man, it is hump day. We're supposed to have a live stream today or YouTube training today, but we're actually in Vegas for YouTube training today. So a little bit different, but lots of fun. So happy hump day to all y'all. Squirt, let's talk about the national news and implementation of augmented reality in construction projects. Now, this is something we've been doing for a long time because of the companies we were with, but it's getting to be bigger.
Big time. There's robots that'll crawl your job and do layout for you and lay the walls out, lay the piping out, and just print it on the floor. Like I saw a video of that last week, and I was just like, "Holy cow!" Because I was talking to the team about layouts and things. But implementation of this augmented reality, so that you see the real world and the augmented reality that they feed in, to where you could actually walk through a building and see the systems that aren't even there yet. I think this is pretty cool. It's really good for new people getting in because, like, I'm trying to think back when I was first doing isometric drawings and trying to understand what I was actually looking at until it finally just think of it, it could jump out of the page and into the space that it goes using augmented reality to show that apprentice exactly. And I think it'll just make that light switch click a little quicker on exactly what they're looking at. I think that's huge. Um, but AR allows stakeholders to overlay the digital models onto the physical environment, providing a clear understanding of the project before and during the construction. I think that's just pretty freaking neat that you can do that nowadays. It's a lot different than anything we've ever seen. And it's not just virtual, it's an augmented reality. So you are still seeing that real world also with an overlay kind of. Uh, but this is going to help reduce errors. By visualizing components in real time, teams can identify and address potential issues early, reducing costly rework. This kind of feeds into collisions, things like that, that we talked about a lot. That's why they do BIM, things like that. But this could be for residential homes, things like that, that you could actually go in and see if you wanted to. Residential homes, I feel like at least back whenever I did them, it's kind of a first come, first take the place and run your stuff. So this will kind of add a different way of approaching this. It's going to improve the collaboration because AR facilities, better communication among the project teams, uh, the clients, and contractors by providing a shared interactive view of that project. And that's the other cool thing is you can actually bring the end user out, let them put this on and get a real visual of what's about to happen. And they can go, oh, I don't really like that. Let's go ahead and change that now before it ever even shows up to the job site. And that's going to be a big transition for our future to just speed up that process, I think, on a lot of jobs.
So Squirt, explain something. What is the difference between virtual reality and augmented reality?
So, virtual reality is a complete virtual space. So, if you look around what we've got around us right now, would disappear when you put on these glasses. It's just going to be screens covering your whole eyeballs. Augmented lets you see what's still really there, but it also overlays some visuals for you to see. That's the major difference between augmented and virtual realities.
No, I love that because I know we talk about it a lot, and I've had it explained to me about the same way.
Mhm.
And I know you've dealt with it, so I just wanted to get your thoughts on it. All right, so I love that we're talking about this old house and the websites because you know they've been around a long time, and
Long
I
time.
remember when we started our YouTube channel. That was Will's biggest goal. He said, "I want us to pass this old house." We got a long way to go, but go ahead. Talk about this a minute. I'm going to go ahead and try and pull it up so I can see it.
I mean, and it is. It's been around forever. It's an old TV show that's been out forever, but you can actually go back on their site and kind of watch some of the old shows and learn from them. This old house, it's a comprehensive resource offering expert advice on home improvement, remodeling, and DIY projects. And as trade people, I know we love to do a lot of things at our house ourselves. This is a great place to kind of go and really get some tips on those honeybees that you've got to get knocked out and done. So that's a good one, but it's got project guides, step by step instructions for a wide range of home improvement projects. It's big, I was actually browsing through that the other day, looking at it. It's like, man, there's some things I should do around the house. Um, and getting some ideas from sites like this, it's big. There's also video tutorials, access to that vast library of videos covering various topics from the woodworking to the plumbing. This old house covers the whole house. It doesn't just cover a little part or a piece or any specific trade. It covers a little bit of everything. And that's one of my favorite things about this site is I can remember watching it as a kid occasionally, and that reminiscing on that is huge. But I want a lot of people to know that this is a great resource to go and get some information if you're trying to do some things on your house. Uh, they also do some in-depth reviews on products and tools. Uh, so that's really good to kind of see different ways you can upgrade your house now.
And I love this because you said that you were watching it and you got some ideas of things that you could do around your house, which I think that this old house really has grown because it's very good for DIYers. It's very good for homeowners. And a lot of times, we talk about going to trade shows because there's new tools, materials, equipment, technology. I actually ran into Richard Treadway probably about 5 or 6 years ago out here in Vegas, actually at KBIS. And it was neat just to get to see him and talk to him. But, the cool thing about it is professionals can learn from this channel too. And this website. I call it the channel, but they've got a lot of good videos that teach people about the different tools, material, equipment, technology. So it's a great place for professionals to learn too, right?
Yeah, and like they do, they've got socials too. So they do have channels and things, and they've been around forever on the TV. So they are their own channel, yes, for sure. Uh, but like that's my favorite is just going in there and getting some new ideas. Like I was thinking for the dog, things like that, just some different things. A little doggy door because my dog is a very active dog, so it would be kind of nice just to be able to let him run when he wants occasionally. So just different things, some projects like that, some lighting projects that I've been kind of looking at. I've been running some issues we've been talking recently. I haven't had time to exactly look yet on that goofy fixture, but we'll get back to it soon.
I love it. And it's always neat to see what they're doing different. And, the neat thing about it too, it's taking an old house. So this is all remodel type stuff. This is all retrofit. Hey, look, we're going to tear this wall down. We're going to do this. We're going to remove this. We're going to install this. A lot of great stuff there. All right. Let's talk about business growth. And I love this because AI is the hottest word at any conference we go to. It's whether it's trades conference, whether it is, you came in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and shot video at a business growth conference. How many times did you hear AI get brought up and talked about?
Multiple times a day, and people ask me how we use AI just to do some of the things in our world. And it's like, yes, I definitely talk to AI on a daily basis. Like it's just becoming a part of the day now. To be able to set some time aside to have that conversation, to deep dive into research and different things, come up with topics kind of for our show. I talk to AI a lot, trying to come up with some great things that are coming down the pipeline and try to keep it modern, like how to adopt AI into project management, because AI is just a tool out there. So the quicker you are to jump and kind of learn how to use those tools to help you do your job, to make things go a whole lot faster. It can speed up a lot of the little processes that you deal with. Just having somebody to bounce back. One of my favorites, honestly, for the AI side is customer service things. Whenever you're doing an email or you got a weird one that came in, it's like, man, who do I bounce this off of? And it's like, hey, I've got AI over here to kind of help me. Hey, here's kind of my thoughts. Here's my idea. Let me bounce this off of you. And it gives you something solid because it's going to back it up with a lot of data that it's going to research and study from instead of just being some Joe Blow like, oh, yeah, just go ahead and do that. It doesn't matter. You at least have something with some little substance there, I feel like. But AI, it's transforming project management by optimizing scheduling, resource allocation, and risk management. Like I like that, especially the risk management side, because everybody I know that deals with risk management stuff, it's all about the data and the history and the research and everything. AI can study and go through so much history and data so quick. Because guys, it's a computer. We're not. Start using it to your advantage. I think that's a big one.
Yeah, I love that because, and we've been to some great AI presentations. Actually, I think the queen of AI lives right here in Las Vegas. But the cool thing about it is you can literally upload every job ticket, everything you've done, every piece of data, and you could go in and have that AI software that you use tell you, hey, what's the maximum time it takes for us to do this job? To where you can literally go in and build a schedule out. Now you could go in and put certain things in, like removing and replacing a toilet, changing out a water heater, changing out a garbage disposal. You can put all these different things together and let it tell you, look, in the last 5 years, you've changed 100 toilets, and hopefully you're doing more than that. But you've changed 100 toilets, and it takes you an average of 45 minutes. Well, now you can say, okay, look, we can let them book us for 1 hour to do this. That gives you time to get there or get in, do your credibility statement, talk to the customer, do your inspection, and get the job done. And I think that this is neat. I love it. I was literally this morning on the flight looking at new software to help us with YouTube. So that there's always in any industry you're in, guys, there's new tools, materials, equipment, and technology. And this falls under the technology. And if you're not looking at it, you're going to get further behind because your competition is either looking at it, mastering it, or that they've just got it down. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, and you really want to choose the right tools. Like, and this is going to depend on your size, things like that. But one thing that I've learned with a lot of these AI people and these softwares, you can set a meeting with that company and they'll go through and explain it to see if it's the right fit for what you do, because you don't want to get too many different softwares that you're trying to juggle. You want to get the one that's kind of fit for what you do on a normal basis to cater to your trade and your world. Uh, so you really want to check with that. Make sure it's big enough to handle all the jobs you have too. I've worked at small companies and large companies, and they're both going to need a different size of AI. They don't all need the big bad one necessarily. So kind of keep that in mind. Set some meetings, talk to these people, see how it can benefit you in your business. I think that'll help a lot.
And the good thing is, you can train your staff on this, and literally that's going to help save you labor. Because if you teach people how to use it right, how to use the right prompts, how to get the information that you're trying to get out of it, it's just the opportunities here are phenomenal. And I believe it was Jeff Bezos that said, look, the next trillionaires, and it may have been Elon, but the next trillionaires, and that's a trillion, not a million or a billion. The next trillionaires are going to be the ones who figure out how to make AI do things that nobody's thinking of right now. And when you look at that, it's crazy because guys, it's here. It's already here. We've got access to it. We can use it. We can ask it to do a lot of things. But man, when you train your staff, you ensure that the team members are adequately trained to utilize the AI tools effectively. And I've probably got a list of about 100 AI tools that I'm like, look, these are for this, these are for this, these are for this. And you look at them and here's what I use for here, here's what I use for there, but it makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, something else I can even think of is have AI help you create that final checklist to make sure that you finished everything. Like a lot of things that we go in and do, it's like, oh, but wait, did I do I did this, I did this. Did I do it all? And we're always running through this checklist in our heads. That AI help make you one that you can actually physically hold and look at just real quick. Or now my favorite is I can just talk to my AI. I just push the button on the phone and talk to it. Hey, I just got done doing this project. What would be a good checklist to make sure that I hit every step on that install or whatever it is? And have it just kind of be that extra person checking, whenever you're a one-man shop, it's worth having an extra set of eyes. But this way, you're going to have to tell it a few things, but have somebody else kind of just back check you. Use it as your friend. That's what I've started to do. And it kind of works out pretty well. But remember, not everything that comes out of it is perfect either, because you do have to back check a lot of stuff. So
yeah. And another big thing to remember too is after you get it done, after you've talked to it and you've had it do this, say, is there anything else that we should add to this to make it even better? Mm-hmm. And it'll go through the process and say, well, if we added this, it might help determine if you kept up with your schedule or did this. There's a lot of different things to it. So it really is. It's a good way to do it. And I love that you're talking about using this for scheduling, because as we roll into service work, we're talking about developing efficient scheduling and dispatching. And one thing that I was taught, and this is something that a lot of companies don't do, but it's literally send the right technician. Because if you've got an opportunity for a new tankless water heater, and you send out a technician that's not very good at them, this technician is probably going to tell them, look, you really don't want a tankless. You'd rather just go a tank. Tanklesses are a lot more expensive, and here's going to be the problems. So I love this, but again, what we talked about, once you get AI implemented, you help it put the times together. Now it makes it really easy where people can go online and schedule themselves. Because I hate to say this, a lot of people today don't want to talk to people on the phone. They just want to jump in on your website and schedule something.
Yep. That's it. Like scheduling here, even we were talking yesterday about big jobs where it was like, oh, every trade has 4 days in this bathroom to finish it. AI, you could put in a rule, look, can't no more than X amount of employees in any room during a scheduled duration of a project. And it can create some of these flags now. It's not going to make it perfect. You are going to have to move one or two trades around, I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
But
always.
it's only getting better every day, guys. And in a year, you're probably not going to have to go in there and fix anything like that because the more all of us use it, the more it's going to get a little shit, baby.
It's crazy.
It is. But efficient scheduling and dispatching is crucial for maximizing productivity. You don't want to send a guy from one side of town to the other, back to the other, back to the other, just because, well, that's just who called first. Well, yeah, that was a little 15-minute project, though, that he could have done while he was on that side of town real quick before he went to that other customer. So some different things like that are smart to think of. I've never been a dispatcher personally, but I ran crews and jobs to where I had to move my people at the right times in situations like that. But I think it's just really big. It's smart to think of, and it's great to get AI involved in things like this. We've been through some companies during filming and stuff, and we've seen a dispatch room that was huge that had like 8 different
Oh
TVs
yeah.
because of all the plumbing vents and stuff that they had going on. Everything was running, but everything was tracked. They had maps, they had all sorts of things. And being able to watch it like that on that level is pretty amazing. Uh, and they were utilizing a very good scheduling software there to be able to track and things like that. One time I was using Jobber for Leak Pro. I didn't really have to use it for scheduling, but it was an option that is in there that you can actually add that in, track it for job, things like that. So some of these softwares that are out there can be really beneficial and help you, your whole company, and your team.
I love the fact, look, if you utilize the scheduling software the right way, it helps you implement tools that allow for real-time scheduling, route optimization, technician tracking, which is great. And that way you know where every tech is, you know who they've got with them, you know all the different things about it. It helps you prioritize jobs. A lot of people don't even think about that, but develop criteria to prioritize service requests based on urgency, location, and technician experience. And not just technician experience, technician quality. You know, if you send a plumber who's not good at sales out to a house where they need a water heater, he can blow that deal. And I'm not saying just make him a salesman, but if they call looking for a water heater, guess what they want? They called you, they're paying your service fee, they want a water heater. And if you send somebody else, like, yeah, you know what? Uh, I think instead of a water heater right now, I'd get a new refrigerator. No, you got the wrong guy there. But doing that is going to help a lot. And then monitor your performance. Regularly review scheduling efficiency and adjust processes as needed to improve service delivery. At the end of the day, we need to be the greatest service company that we can. We do that by providing great service, great products, communications, everything like that to our customers. So if we're not looking at that from the beginning, from the get-go, and how we always do it better, it's going to be a big problem. And a lot of people don't even think about it. They're just like, hey, I've got a plumber in the house next door, just have him go over and do it. Well, that's probably not the plumber you want there for that. But if that's the way you want to run your business, good luck. All right, materials, equipment, tools, and evaluating the benefits of modular construction components. And I need to look and see if we can get it out here to,
Hey, Aaron.
yeah, Ahern, but Extreme. It's,
Okay.
it's their division. That's it. Yeah. So go ahead. I'll let you talk about the tools.
So yeah, modular construction involves assembling sections of a building offsite before loading it up onto a truck, transporting it to the construction site, which is offering various benefits, guys. Being able to, like, we did Parkland Hospital together a long time ago, where we were building every hospital room's bathrooms blocks down the road, completely finished, rolling them in, 3 bathrooms on a trailer, picking it up with a crane, rolling it across the floor and into the location. To be able to build that many bathrooms offsite and keep all the workers off the construction site, because Parkland was a 2 million square foot hospital. So that takes a lot of people on the site. To just remove those people from there to build down the road and send it over to us to put it in the locations, that frees up so much space, helps everything run smoother, and they've got a set space to do it. They don't have to travel all throughout this big 2 million square foot building to go build every bathroom. They have one location that they're building every bathroom and shipping it out. I don't know how to explain the time savings and everything any better than that, because it was really smooth, and it blew my mind because this is the first job I ever saw modular construction to that level, because these bathrooms were coming in, tile on the walls, mirrors hanging, everything, toilet set. It was all there. Everything was completely done. These would come in and they'd put plastic over the doors. Nobody enters because it was a completely finished project, and they were rolling them in before the walls were even completely up. So it's pretty neat.
You're talking about the bathrooms. We also did that with the med gas walls, the header walls behind. If any of y'all have ever been in a hospital, the wall up at the head of the bed, well, you've got oxygen, you've got compressed air, you got vacuum, you got all these med gases in it. And we would build those offsite. And I mean, you can completely finish the wall. Now, I like this in the beginning because you talked about assembling sections of the building offsite or manufacturing.
Yep.
Literally, from what I saw here in Vegas, and hopefully we can get out there, they're doing the entire building, the furniture. They're mounting the tables. They're mounting the stools. They're mounting the toilets. They're hanging the lavatories. They're building these things out 100%, then unbolt it, put it on a trailer, and get it to where it needs to go. So that is big because now your quality control is even better. You can check and double check everything before this building ever gets delivered to the site. That's huge. But for sustainability, you're reducing waste. You're improving your energy efficiency, and this contributes to more sustainable building practices. We talk about not using as much material because there's not as much waste. And we talk about that a lot. And that's what these robotics, the modular construction, things like that's how we're able to do it. It just, I always go back to the automatic welder, the welding robot. And it would cut saddles in, it would cut T's in. I mean, it could do anything. It could cut in for a live T, it could cut in for whatever. But the great thing about it is that, man, it nailed it. And it'd be cutting a piece, and then you're like, okay, well, the next piece on the list is this one here. And the robot's like, the next piece on the list is this one, because I've got 5 feet of pipe left, and I need a piece 4 foot 11 and a half. And it's like, that way there's no waste, no scrap, no nothing. And anytime you can do construction that precise, you're doing really good. Squirt, talk about that logo on your League Pro. What you got going on there?
So I'm Henry Wakefield, CEO of League Pro. I build the equipment. I train people how to use it, guys. If you don't know anything about leak detection, you need to check us out. We build the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. And I build 2 different pieces of equipment. I've got a T-handled probe, stainless steel rod on that. It's real durable. for probing in and out of the ground. That's more for that meter to the home service. If you're dealing with driveways or the slab inside of a house, whenever you head in there, you really want that sidekick. It's a pistol grip style, has an aluminum rod on it. But that aluminum rod is a less dense metal, so it kind of screams is the way I call it. But it eliminates that layer of concrete whenever you're actually listening for a leak underneath. So you want to have that. So I always offer, suggest people to go ahead and get the complete kit. That way you have both pieces of equipment. You're ready for any leak that you approach. If you don't know anything about leak detection, though, you can give me a call and we could discuss. I've got a 2-day in-person training just outside of Dallas, Texas, where we go through line locating. I've got 11 leaks under a slab to teach you exactly how to pinpoint leaks on one just outside of the slab itself. But beyond that, I'll also teach you how to locate leaks on sewer systems. And I've got a cast iron and a PVC system set up. We can go through and train you exactly how to isolate those branch lines to determine which line's leaking in a sewer system under a home. If you want to check that out, the equipment or the training, you can visit the website at www.leak-pro.com, or you can give me a call and we can discuss either one at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. And we do want to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks. They let us come in here 10 a.m. Central Time, Monday through Fridays, and talk trades for an hour to help you benefit in your world.
Or 8 a.m. Pacific. If y'all get up in the morning and you're eating breakfast a little late, and you want to talk plumbing or trades, we can do it. I want to say hello here to Nightlight. Says good morning, y'all. Hope you're doing good.
Good morning.
Yes, these are really
completely finished.
Completely finishing them. And then yes, robots are taking over the trades, but luckily they can't go out and repair a toilet yet, or at least I say that. That's what I say. Dig holes, install the pipe, cover it up. But it could be coming. It could be coming. All right, let's talk about water conservation and plumbing designs. Now, me being a lead AP, I love this. I think that when it comes to the MEP, we've all got to be looking at what can we do to build a more sustainable world. And incorporating water conservation strategies in plumbing design is essential for stability for sustainability and cost savings. Sustainability is, we started talking about this word big probably 8 or 10 years ago, maybe even longer than that. But I think that this is going to be great for plumbing companies, mechanical and electrical, but mainly plumbing, because this could almost double our work if we started doing rainwater harvesting, rainwater reclamation, and reusing it on the houses where we can, but also on the irrigation system. So the different things that we can look at. There's a lot of different strategies, but low flow fixtures. And this is where, man, I get really upset about some of these companies out here on the West Coast showing people how to make a waterhead spray twice as much water. As y'all are in California, you need as much water as you can get. And when you're a plumbing company out there and you're showing people how to do that, it blows my mind. But faucets, shower heads, not just faucets, the aerators on it. It makes it so easy. But your biggest savings, and it's funny because there's a lot of people out there that say, look, every house you walk in, you should sell an ultra high efficiency toilet. And to be honest, that high efficiency toilet, you're going to go from 1.28 to 0.8 gallons of water per flush. And each person normally flushes the toilet 3 times a day. So you're going to save somebody about a half a gallon per flush 3 times a day. So that's 1.5 gallons. But when you've got people showing people how to pull out the flow restrictor of their shower head, the shower head is now about a 5 GPM shower head, where it should be about a 2 GPM shower head. So now you're talking 3 extra gallons a minute. Most people take a 10-minute shower. So you're talking every time you show somebody to pull that out, you're teaching each person to waste 30 gallons of water every time they shower. And to me, why are we doing that? I don't get it. So that's great. With the gray water systems, I talked about that. How can you reclaim water that you've already used? We're working on a shower video right now It's a product called Rain Stick, and it actually recycles the water while you're in the shower. It filters it, it cleans it, it reuses it, it keeps it hot. And I think that once it's all said and done, once you're flowing and running, it only uses a half a gallon of water every time you shower. So we're looking at things that realize even bigger savings. But you can use the gray water. We implement systems that recycle the water from sinks and showers for use in irrigation and to flush your toilets. And then leak detection. I don't know if y'all ever heard of a company called Leak Pro, but the leak detection is a great thing if you're a plumber or you're a plumbing company owner, because I remember when I was first doing studying about getting into leak detection, we did research and found out that 9 out of 10 homes have a leak that they don't even know about. Now, some of these leaks are under the slabs. Some of these leaks are in the yard service. Some of these leaks are faucets dripping, toilets dripping, or toilets running, showers dripping, and just people are like, yeah, I'm not even going to worry about that. That adds up, guys, and it gets expensive. But utilize advanced leak detection technologies to identify and address leaks promptly, preventing water waste. And guys, here's the thing that it blows my mind, because a lot of people don't even think about this. If you've got a leak and you've got a leak on a hot water line, you're paying to heat the hot water, and then you're just leaking it out right straight down the drain. And that's just a great way to go about it. All right, Randy, where's the workout?
Man, so warehouse and logistics centers are expanding in the Midwest. It's experiencing a surge in the warehouse and logistics center construction, driven by the growth of e-commerce. Yeah, I like e-commerce. Go e-commerce, keep going, baby. And the need for efficient distribution networks. And a lot of this, I'm sure, has to do with Amazon also. I mean, obviously, it not have to do with Amazon. I've heard so many Amazon things the last few days. It's crazy. But like, think about it. Amazon, it started with just books. Now they sell you everything that you can possibly imagine. You get it delivered. But guys, it's just going to create a lot of job opportunities. It's going to create jobs to actually work in there also. But it's going to increase demand for skilled labor in the construction, electrical work, and the HVAC installations. Warehouses are big boxes. You've got to keep them heated and cooled. So HVAC is all over the place. I've done so many different big warehouses, and there are so many units on top of a large warehouse that it's a lot of work, guys. So that's where I'm going to say the work is. Also, all the technological integration opportunities to implement advanced technologies such as automation and AI in the warehouse operations now, where you actually have AI software that's looking over every one of those units and keeping them all running at peak performance and the most efficient that's possible for the areas, for the weather, things like that. So being able to put all these new smart devices, like we were talking a minute ago about the leak detection, it's like, man, those smart valves are so great. Be able to turn that off remotely. Well, if you've got AI checking on your whole system for your building operation and it's constantly watching it, that's better than having that guy go monitor all the monitors down there and just keep an eye on things, because AI is going to be able to react quicker. It's going to be able to send that signal to the unit and tell it to do something different, possibly also. So I think, that's going to create a lot of different opportunities out there. And guys, especially if you're new to the trade, I love big warehouses because it's wide open. Nobody's stacked on top of each other, really. So you can actually go in there and do a job and feel good about it and just deal with less disruption, I guess I would say, because these large sites are pretty nice.
I like this. Not like talked about robots taking over the trays. PackSack here says, first of all, says hello. This is robots will never take over the trays. Ridiculous statement. But let me tell you, or PackSacks. We pulled up a video the other day. There's a company in Austin that's building houses with 3D printing, which is, as far as I'm concerned, that's robotics. And we talked about one last week where they've got robots doing the roof. So it's coming. Like this says, even if they made a robot with the dexterity of a human hand, it'd be so expensive and maintenance intensive that it wouldn't make sense for companies to use them. But PaxTax, here's the deal: that robot can work 24 hours a day. It doesn't need to take time off. All it needs is somebody to really program it to do. And then who's going to maintain them? Like, not last answer. You get a broken robot, we send it back to China, they send us another one. Yeah, probably here for a while. But we are starting to build here in the United States. We're doing some different stuff too. So it is. There's always something going on. But guys, remember that not only can it work around the clock, but I think it's even working straight time to straight time. The robots are about 70% more efficient. Right? Did you say the other day they were doing 70% of labor?
Guys, they did a house, 500 square foot house they printed in 24 hours. I know that's just the walls, that's not the roofs also. But guys, 24 hours for a 500 square foot house built complete by robot. Like it did have somebody there watching it, maintaining it, making sure the programming was running properly, and making sure the materials were there. So it does take tradespeople to keep all these robots going too. It's just going to kind of be a little shift, I think, in our future. And no, I don't think robots are going to take over everything in the trades for sure. And it's just going to be a lot of robots to do each little part of the trade until they make that one that has movements like a human. And then whenever that happens, guys, there's no telling what's coming next.
At that point, I'm going to get rid of Squirt because I don't need him. I just need it to grow a little red beard.
That's right.
So let's talk about instructor training, because and I love this, developing curriculum for job site readiness. We can take kids and put them through trade school. We can set them in a classroom in high school. We can do a lot of things. But there's a lot of work involved getting them job site ready. And we talked a lot about a young man out at Parkland Hospital that got ran over. Training people to be on a job site and not just be productive, but be very safe. It's something that we really, I love this, because preparing students and apprentices for the readiness of the job site requires a curriculum that balances technical skills with practical experience. So the safety training. Guys, safety is first and foremost on every job you go on. And I'm not going to say every. On most every job you go on, if there's a big general contractor there, you're going to go through a safety training. And I've seen some safety trainings that are 2 days. I mean, you're in a class. What about you?
I was going to say the airport was what, a week? It was like a week class to go out to the airport because of everything that goes on out there. There's so much extra safety to learn. Like I was going to say, like TI, man, we had safety training for the company, yes. Well, then we also had chemical safety training to be able to step foot into TI. Then you had fab training so that you could actually smock up and go into the fabs and everything. Like there's so many steps and parts and pieces sometimes that go into these trainings that you're not ready to just step foot on that job site in an hour or two, guys. Sometimes the training process is extensive before they even step foot out there. Because guess what? If even residential, you're walking a job, you need to know to pay attention for nails and screws and things like that, so that you don't enter in with a punctured foot on day one just because you walked onto the job site. So safety skills is huge. Technical skills, though, especially nowadays with all the new smart devices, everything's done on iPads, phones, computers now. So being able to teach those technical skills to new apprentices, older apprentices, you're going to have a variety of everything. I've seen it all in the trades. But you want to provide some hands-on training with the tools and technologies that are commonly used in your trade for these new people. But then if they're anything to do with service, or they're in the area of clients and customers, soft skills are huge, because you don't know how everybody that ever comes works for you was brought up. So you've got to make sure that they've got some good human skills to be able to talk to those customers because man, I've seen some rough people in life. Uh, but soft skills are huge to talk to people proper so that you don't put them down in you. And that's what some people need to understand is just some of the derogatory remarks that we do in the trades. We're talking down on people. A lot of outsiders don't understand that we don't mean it in a bad way at all. We're hyping each other up. It's a great thing. But knowing that clear boundary, you've got to talk different in some areas around some customers and things. And being able to train that and teach your people that is kind of huge.
And this is all, look, you've got to have realistic expectations. You've got to let them know what's going on and to make people safe. And there's so much to it that, people that are used to being sitting in a classroom, sitting in a chair all day, every day, you get them out on a job site, it's a whole different course. So I really do like that. Now, we're going to go into especially the whole home water filtration system. And you see, I set up and got excited about this one. But I got to tell you, with concerns about water quality rising across the United States, and water quality, it's rising everywhere because anybody can go, and I like going to the Halo Water website and click on what's in your water and go in and put your zip code in and let it tell you what a third-party water testing facility has found out, because they test the water all around the country, and they tell you how much over of carcinogenics, poison, fecal matter, whatever it is, how much over their water is than is normally allowed. But it's a great upsell for plumbers and general contractors. If I was a general contractor, I would make them part of every house that I sell and just say, look, if you don't want it, you're going to have to sign off that you don't want it because we know what's in the water. And matter of fact, here's the water report. So I would make that a no-brainer and just make it where it's something you do on every single house. If you're the plumber and you're building it for the general contractor, I'd go talk to the general contractor and say, look, we're starting to implement this where we install these on every new build, and here's why. And I think that they buy into it. But what types of systems? You got your carbon filtration, you got your RO system, which is a lot more advanced, and this is more point of use. This is for specific stuff. The only big RO system I ever installed was out of Northrop Grumman. And then sediment and UV filters that remove particles and bacteria. Remember, we've got to get the chlorines out, and that's what the carbon filtration does. But carbon filtration doesn't get everything. So you need these multi-layer systems. Your installation considerations are you must access water pressure, or you must assess the water pressure. You've got to have, I'm going to say 60 to 80 PSI, 60 to 80 or above is probably going to be pretty good. You want to know your filter location. I was able to put mine in the garage at Squirt's house. We dug a hole at the side of the house where the water came in. And then maintenance requirements, you've got to be able to get to the filter if there is one to swap out, or annual services if yours needs annual services. And if you want one that doesn't need annual services, check out the video that we did about the Halo 5 water. It's amazing. But what is the value to the clients? It's peace of mind, especially in regions with questionable municipal water, which most of us have. Protects appliances and plumbing from scale, rust, and contaminants. And guys, when you swap out an old water heater and you see how much nasty stuff is in it, you understand what's in that water. And then the other one is can often be part of a greener or wellness-focused home upgrade. And look, the price of houses these days, more and more people want to upgrade their home instead of just going and buying a new one.
Yes. I love serving tap water at my house because I know it's just as clean as this bottled water I've got here. And that's one of my favorite things. Like, I thought about it after I'd had it for probably a week, and it's like, holy crap, like I shower in bottled water. Like that,
Yeah,
that's just
it's
what
kind
I
of
do
nice.
now. It is. And like it tripped me out because we were talking about something at the office and it's like, man, like my clothes are gonna start keeping better colored now because there's not a bunch of junk in my water. It's cleaner water that's coming into my whole house. So that's pretty cool. And that's one of my favorite things about the whole home water filtration is yeah, drink water from my hose. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be great. Okay, doesn't make me miss
We
my
need to shoot
childhood.
that short you talked
I,
about.
we do like because I grew up drinking from a water hose. I ran the neighborhood. I mean, come on, I was a '90s kid. Man, if there was a house with whole home water filtration, I think every kid would have found that one and been like, all right,
Oh, yeah,
this water, this house has the water, guys.
pretty neat.
Uh,
Okay, so let's go to social media. Let's talk about my buddy Dimitri, Roofing Insights, and it's really neat because I got to meet Dimitri September, October of 2018. I had gone to the concert or the conference that I'm going to next week in San Diego and met someone who was hosting a conference in LA in September, October. Ended up going to it. I walked down the bar and there's a guy down there. I've got on my Texas Dream plumbing shirt. He said, "So you're a plumber?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm a roofer." It was Dimitri. And man, that channel was so much bigger than mine. I thought, I will never be able to get a channel up to 20,000 subscribers. But we have. But this is one of the most prominent platforms in the roofing world, blending contractor business coaching with product reviews and industry watchdog work. Man, he's good at what he does. And I do. I love his attitude. But Randy, why did you pick Roofing Insights to talk about today?
man,
Besides the
honestly,
fact that it's website.
well, honestly, he's one of the biggest roofers on socials, guys. And that's what I'm finding out. The more and more we do this every week is roofers. There's not a big variety of them out there, but my favorite is Dimitri. Y'all kind of line up. Y'all teach from the entry level. Hey, you're just starting. Here's some things you want to DIY. A couple things. Hey, here's how you do it. Oh, you have a business. Well, here's some insights and ideas for that. So no matter where you are in the trade, you can check Dimitri out and learn from him. If you're day one or day 10,000, okay, like it's possible you can get out there and learn from it. And that's one of my favorites. He does a lot of contractor interviews, real talk with roofers around the country, pricing, sales, challenges. That's something we talk about a lot. I get questions. Well, how much is leak detection in this area? It's like, well, you're gonna have to call a leak detection person in that area and just get a price and kind of see what it is near you. He does that. He talks to people from all over and just kind of gets those insights and shares that. So I think it's really neat. Uh, he's very transparent on materials, his actual reviews of things, uh, exposes on shady vendors. This kind of sounds familiar. And tips on how to protect your business. So y'all kind of right in line with each other. You're not scared to show, like it's something that we talk about a lot. It's like, look, show some things that you shouldn't ever do in your trade too, and put that on socials because some people just need to know, hey, don't do that. Like that is a big no-no in our world. Okay. You want to be a real pipe fitter, don't do it that way, do it this way. Okay.
Boy,
And
that's true.
put some of that out there. Like it's big. He does have a lot of content variety too. Tool reviews, some of his conference coverage, insurance negotiation advice, and even contractor legal battles. And I feel like that's kind of in line with a lot of things we do on our channel. We cover a lot of different aspects, problems, good and bad, that we deal with in our trades. And it's kind of good to go out there and teach people. And guys, if you're not on socials, start posting occasionally, promoting yourself, not just what you do or your company, but guess what? We are all individuals that need to promote ourselves, and that's what socials are for. Um, I'm trying to step more into it. I was kind of a hermit myself,
He's still kicking and screaming, y'all. He's still kicking and screaming.
but then there's days like this where I'm live on the Vegas Strip. So we are breaking out of that show.
So Randy, let me ask you this, and we'll get back to Dimitri here in just a second. If I'd have told you 3 years ago you'll be broadcasting live from the Las Vegas Strip on YouTube, what would you have said?
What am I doing videos on?
Yeah. And
no
why am
way.
I in Vegas? Why am I in
There's
Vegas?
no way. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's the funny thing. Like, honestly, like, it was what my buddy was talking about, because a few years ago we were talking, man, we need to plan a Vegas trip. Neither one of us has ever been to Vegas. Well, now he's like, hey, do you just want to plan the trip and I'll just tag along? Like, you've been to Vegas so many times now. I think that you just pretty much live there. And it's like, man, we do go a lot, but there's so many conferences here. We gain something every time we go. And then we always eat good. So, like,
I knew where you were going at. As soon as you looked around, I'm like, yeah, I know.
I am
it.
at El Segundo Sol.
Yeah, we are at El Segundo Sol in Las Vegas. If you've never been here, man, I feel for you. The bartenders are great. The staff's great. The management's great. Right next door is the Happy Camper. They own it too. And I'm telling you, every time we come to Vegas, I mean, look, this is the first spot we stopped. Well, we went to the rental car place to get a ride over here. But we're here because we're going up to Hurricane, Utah. We have got our YouTube training this week. So we always fly into Vegas, rent a car, come here, make one or two other stops here in Las Vegas, and then head up to Hurricane, Utah. We don't have to be up there till about 5 o'clock tonight. I don't even know if we don't even have a dinner tonight, do we? So no, it's just we really don't have to be there till about 8 in the morning. But the whole thing is, man, we could come in here, do this. If we'd have waited till later to fly in, we wouldn't have got to Vegas till like later tonight. And it's like, no, I don't want to do that.
And we do a lot of good things to keep this show going every day, and that is what it's about. We want to be here live and talk trades with each and every one of you.
No matter where we're at.
No matter where we're at, on the go, like you'll see us live sitting in airports at times. We've done that already this year, live on cruise ships, live sitting on a patio before a restaurant even opens. You're going to see it all on this channel. But we love to talk trades. That is what we both were. I was a 20-year pipe fitter. He's a 44-year plumber, almost 45 now. Okay, yep.
I like this. Nightlife says, what's the best lunchbox to keep food cold on the job? Yeti.
I was going to say, nowadays it's Yeti. I carried Igloo coolers mainly if I wanted to keep anything cold, and always have a microwave in your toolbox too.
Either a microwave or a hot box, one or the other. You got to know how to do it. Squirt, let's pull this out. Let's talk about Leak Pro. Leak Pro is the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. The complete kit is branded for the leak detection. And what it is, it's got the sidekick in it, which has an aluminum rod where you can literally walk into a house, lean down, listen up under cabinets, like a kitchen cabinet or a laboratory cabinet. And it's not bulky. You've got the sidekick and the wire going to your headphones. And I've got to tell you, it makes it amazing because I've had multiple systems where you've got a big clunky box around your neck or around your waist, and you've got big wires going from your headphones to it, and then from your headphones to your Pro. And it's just, it's not convenient. And it looks like they were designed in 1960 and haven't improved it. So when I saw Leak Pro, I fell in love with it. I told the guy then, I said, look, I want your company. And we were able to acquire it. So Squirt actually builds them here in the United States. But it's not just the sidekick. He also builds the Leak Pro, which has the stainless steel rod. When we do that out of stainless, the aluminum you can actually hear better through, but you can still hear good through the stainless, don't get me wrong. But the stainless, it's like a probing rod. You can push that thing down 3 feet deep and you can drill what's down underground. And it's a great tool to have. But the complete kit comes with both of those, just with the headphones and some adapters, and it's in one of the most professional looking cases I've ever seen for leak detection equipment. And like Spark said earlier, if you don't know how to use this equipment or don't know how to use it to the best of its capabilities and you want to learn, come to Wiley, come to Texas. We've got a training. It's a 2-day training. We teach you how to locate the lines, how to find the leaks, but we also teach you how to find and isolate leaks on your sewer system, both cast iron and PVC. So if you want to learn more about Leak Pro, check it out at www.leak-pro.com. And if you want to learn more about the training, give Squirt a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. And then as a bonus, what we do, we throw in marketing training so you learn how to get found for leak detection in your area. And with most leak detection companies right now, about 4 to 6 weeks out, guys, this is a great time to grow the revenue at your company and increase your bottom line. So I hope y'all have enjoyed today. Go check out Leak Pro, and hopefully we'll see you here tomorrow at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. Bye, guys. Whatever you're doing out there today, do it safe.
Happy hump day, everybody. Thanks for coming. Hope to see you back here tomorrow. Get out there and hit it effing hard. Bye, guys.
See y'all.